Hello, Maplers! Happy holidays! Sorry for not posting in a while. I was moving back to my parents' house. As you can clearly see, it's very festive, very Christmassy. But what I have actually missed that I would have loved to talk to you guys about is the state of the game update again. Once again, they have communicated to us, which I think is really, really awesome for a company, for like any game company, to communicate to their customers or their players that they're actually taking all this feedback. A lot of people are saying that this game is dying, that the RNG is killing this game, mesobots, yada yada yada, like all these things. But to be fully honest, they've been actually paying attention to our opinions. So if you scroll down, they acknowledge the fact that, hey, the random aspect of progression has combined with the content cap has been holding a lot of people back. And they want to help players always feel like they're making progress when they invest time in a game, which I feel like was the biggest issue, because being a person to spend hours and hours farming for a certain item or for a certain gear, for your enchantment to not go through, or for your gem to not even upgrade as well. And that was the major issue of holding back the game. Like, that's why B4s cost so much, because it's a good way to gain gemstones. But other than that, the old scheme that they had was really awful, because outside of the double drop week, we didn't get really a lot of weapons and a lot of drops, because there's a cap on how many drops that we can get. On top of the fact that you would get another class's weapon, lower the progression, because you would then need 3 weapons of a different class or other classes to actually get one more weapon for you to have another piece within that to enhance. So it's very like extra, like there's too much levels of RNG. So I think they even acknowledge that they're not completely gonna take it away, but they are spending a lot of time. It says like, one thing we must learn is that we must be more thorough. So they are very, very, their ears are wide open for this version of Maplestory, which I think is awesome. Whoever Jung-Soo Lee is, thank you for even talking to us. And now they're giving back us potentially double drops once more, which I think is actually that was probably one of the best times, because people felt like the regular amount of progression in this game. And then once it reverted back, that's what I think killed a lot of people's spirit, because it's like, oh, I was like going like this for a while and now I'm plummeting down. Yeah, go ahead and just spend some time to read this over yourself. This is the holiday bonus giveaway that you're gonna have for maintenance next week, for next week's maintenance all the way to the end of this year. And the main thing that I was gonna talk to you today was the assistants. So there hasn't been really a lot of videos on assistants, so I was gonna talk about that. Why not, figure out if they're a good alternative to any of those pods, necklaces, or anything that they can make. I got Arita, and all the necklaces that she was producing was like really, really poor. Even the best one I think was kind of like meh compared to Savagery necklaces 3-year life skills. I decided to check out maybe one of the golden ones. So I got Blake, what I call the K-pop star in this game. He's quite literally the K-pop star. And then I got Jace, which is she's just like a black market person. But what they both create is, Blake creates cooking items, so it's kind of like the cooking within your life skills. But the really unique one is Jace. So she creates beverages, and she creates basically potions. And I was trying to figure out whether or not that would be worth it. When you can talk to her, each assistant has different levels, so you can talk to them. It's actually kind of like a dating sim as well. So initially you will start off with a cherry aid, and then you'll work your way up to producing better and better pots that will give you more HP over time. And with them being more effective though, the price of the items will increase. And like I said in the previous video, I was tracking all the assistant item prices, because you can get them through a NPC in Tria. I think her name is Margarita, Margarita, whatever. But it's really, really expensive, because the MSRP value, I guess you can call it, is like 4,000 for some of the berries, or like sort of fruits, like 3K. But people are able to find these through, I think, fishing and killing monsters. So that way you're not buying it from Margarita, you're buying it from another player. So I was trying to evaluate whether or not the potion cost after producing this potion would be better than you just going out and buy the pot. Right here I made the assistant items cross comparison. I only did it for Jace because I figured that healing pods is probably more important than getting those buff items that Blake would give you. But one could argue that having the little slight boost would be useful in like harder bosses. So maybe if you are trying for all the high level bosses, having that extra percentage of maybe from the grilled chicken or the cupcakes might be worth it. But I'm gonna be focused on Jace today. So Jace, I made this little calculator. If you're able to find your market prices for any of these items or these ingredients, you can calculate the HP from the product, the cost to make it. So the green right here will tell you the cost to make it. I will fill out the rest of the green. And for the total HP, it will be the amount of HP you're getting from all the pots or the drinks combined with how much HP each one gives. So as you go down, the total should be increasing. Some of them have, there's two different kind of pots. There's one that will be just a flat, a certain amount of HP per second. And then there's other ones where it will give you an immediate amount and then a slower, like basically a combination of like an instant pot and the slower pot, the per second pot. And so far in terms of pricing, if you scroll down, it actually gets pretty good for like, for example, the orange cooler. It only costs 900 to make this and you would get roughly 1,000. So if you compare that to, let's say, an item that would give you 1,000 in the game. So for example, let's say you look at the special red herb. So this gives about 1,600 and it's 60 HP over 28 seconds. The cool thing about her items is like they heal a lot quicker because it's only 8 seconds. So one can argue it's better because you're healing faster. So if you are in an area where monsters are hitting you in higher increments or doing more damage to you, then it would be to your benefit to have a potion that is giving you more HP over time. So that way it's recovering as you are, taking a little bit of damage. But if you're kind of like loosely farming on like some mobs that are like kind of tickling you, then go for the special red herbs. In terms of leveling these dudes up, you just go talk to them. And then when you craft an item, so like say the snow cream shortcake. So if I collect it and I can order again. And each item will initially start with a very low amount of closeness level, which is basically the EXP that would be for Blake. And then as you move on to higher and higher items, you will get more and more closeness. One thing to keep in mind, their closeness will increase as well, just to, it makes sense to scale to their level. And then you can also talk to them. This part is kind of like the dating sim. It's kind of interesting. It's not very in-depth. Like that's the one thing I still kind of wish that Maplestory would change is like a lot of things are very superficial after you've gone into it. Like I wish there was a little bit more depth to these characters. I wish there was a little bit more depth to even the fishing part. Like it's just you just tapping your action button. It's like, it would be kind of cool if like, you're actually sort of fishing in other games. But I digress. So for Blake, you can talk to him. And then the easiest way I found is like, I always just go to let's chat and act like your best friends and you just spam it. And that's just like the easiest way to get 10. It will always give you 10, I think per every 30 minutes. Another way that you can get a little bit more closeness is you ask the very first question. So did you hear anything interesting today? And then be careful when selecting that you pick the right one that would make him happy. Obviously this is a dating sim, so you're trying to make him happier. So I would say taste it, and then his mood increases. Their mood will decrease over time for you not giving them attention. Basically, it's kind of get like a dating sim. That's essentially it. And then you can also check out the profile. Right now their mood is very poor because I've been not on for quite a while. And you can actually change a lot of their stats, so you can kind of like make them your waifu, your husbando, whatever you want to do. And yeah, it does cost a lot of merits. So I guess the final question is it worth it to have it in terms of merits? And I would probably say for the average person, no. Like obviously there's people out there who are whales or people who are more fortunate enough to have money to spend on a game. We initially purchased the assistant. There's an initial cost, and I think for the golden ones it's like $13 or like $12.90 for merits. There's a salary, so each month it will cost $5 merits, so like 490 merits. Again, like I'm saying, like it really depends on whether or not you think this $5 monthly subscription is good for having a lot of pots. One can also argue that it's kind of similar in a way of premium, because premium also gives you pots. So it really depends. Like I really can't exactly say. I do think that the pots are good, but whether or not they are worth $17 for the first month and kind of keeping up with them is totally up to you. I'm just giving you all this information so that you guys can make your decision yourself. So yeah, that's all I really have for today. Tomorrow I'm gonna have my Market Monday, so look out for that. I'll have my cow ears on. I also made it for all the servers, so for everybody, I actually listened to all of you guys and decided, what, I'm just gonna make a character in each server and track all of it. I think I missed a few of the middays, so hopefully you guys can forgive me on that. But yeah, so look forward to tomorrow. Stay subscribed if you really want to see it, because only subscribers will see my Market Mondays. And yeah, that's all I have for today. Hope you guys enjoy your holidays and eat a lot of candy canes, I guess. Yeah, so Mumu out.